They told you it was weird. Maybe they caught you mumbling in your room, or talking through a problem while you walked alone. And they looked at you like something was wrong, like you were broken. But here's what they never understood. The greatest minds in history did the exact same thing. Einstein talked to himself constantly. He called it his thought experiments. Nikola Tesla held full conversations with himself before building anything. You're not losing your mind. You're using it at a level most people can't access. Let me explain what's actually happening inside your head. When you talk to yourself, you're not being strange. You're activating something psychologists call the phonological loop. It's a mental system that holds verbal information in your working memory. Most people only use it when reading or listening. But you've learned to weaponize it. When you speak your thoughts out loud, you force your brain to organize chaos into structure. You turn fog into architecture. That scattered mess of ideas becomes a blueprint. Here's something they don't teach you in school. There are two types of self-talk. The first is reactive. It's the voice that criticizes you after you fail, that replays embarrassing moments at 2 a.m. That's not what we're discussing today. The second type is directive self-talk. This is the voice of the strategist. The voice that says, okay, what's the next move? The voice that narrates your actions, like a chess player thinking 3 moves ahead. If you do this naturally, you possess a rare cognitive pattern. You're not broken. You're a silent architect, building solutions while others are still confused by the problem. Research from the University of Wisconsin found something fascinating. They gave participants a visual search task. Find a specific object among dozens of distractors. One group stayed silent. The other group said the name of the object out loud. Banana, banana, banana. The results? Those who talked to themselves found the object significantly faster. Speaking the goal out loud sharpened their focus. It filtered out the noise. Your brain treats your own voice as a command. When you speak, you're not just thinking, you're instructing yourself. You become both the general and the soldier. Now, let's address why most people don't do this. It's not because they're normal and you're not. It's because they're afraid of judgment. They've been trained to keep everything inside, to perform silence in public and suffer confusion in private. But you broke that rule. Somewhere along the way, you realized that clarity matters more than appearances. That solving the problem is more important than looking calm while drowning. This is rare. This is the mark of someone who prioritizes results over reputation. There's a technique I want you to try. I call it the architect's debrief. At the end of each day, find 5 minutes alone. Speak out loud about what happened. Not in your head, out loud. Say, today I handled that meeting well, but I backed down too quickly when they pushed back. Next time, I pause. I hold my ground for 3 seconds longer. You're not just reflecting. You're programming your future self. Your voice becomes the architect's pen, drawing the next day's blueprint before you sleep. Do this for 2 weeks. Watch how your decisions sharpen. Watch how you stop repeating the same mistakes. Here's another layer most people miss. Self-talk isn't just for problem solving. It's for emotional regulation. When you're overwhelmed, your brain enters a state psychologists call cognitive overload. Too many signals, too much noise. Your thoughts pile up like traffic in a storm. But when you speak, you create a single lane. You force your mind to process one thing at a time. That's why you feel calmer after talking through your feelings. Even if no one else is there, you're not venting, you're ventilating, releasing pressure before it builds into something destructive. Let me tell you about a study that changed how I think about this. Researchers found that children who talked to themselves while solving puzzles performed better than those who stayed silent. But here's the interesting part. As people age, society shames this habit out of them. Stop talking to yourself. That's weird. People will think you're crazy. So most adults suppress it. They trade a cognitive advantage for social comfort. But you didn't. You kept the habit that geniuses never abandoned. I want you to understand something. The world will always reward people who look composed, but it secretly runs on people who think deeply. And deep thinking often looks strange from the outside. Pacing back and forth, staring at nothing, muttering under your breath. That's not madness. That's the engine running. While everyone else is performing calmness, you're actually processing. You're building in silence what they'll only see when it's finished. There's a reason I called this trait rare, because most people abandoned it to fit in. They silence their inner architect to seem normal, but normal doesn't build anything. Normal follows the blueprint someone else drew. You draw your own. And the tool you use, your own voice. Here's my challenge for you. The next time someone catches you talking to yourself, don't apologize. Don't explain. Just smile, because you know something they don't. You know that the quiet ones who mutter are the ones designing the future. While everyone else is reacting to life, you're scripting it. I have a question for you. What do you usually talk to yourself about? Is it solving problems? Replaying conversations? Planning your next move? Drop it in the comments. I want to know what your inner architect is working on. If you found something here that made you feel less alone, less strange, less broken, consider subscribing. This channel isn't for everyone. It's for the ones who think differently and have been told that's a flaw. It's not. It's your blueprint. Hit that like button if this resonated. And remember, build your life silently.